right, good morning everyone, Melissa here. So I want to do a video to help women. I just had like some breakthroughs happening this week and I want to share that in the abortion conversation. So me and my mother's abortion is what I want to talk about. It's very difficult to heal from abortion. For years it was like, okay, this is something that I carried. It affected me. The post-traumatic stress affected me. And then I took 2 post-abortive healing classes, and I was finally able to grieve my baby and name my baby, right? And then this week I've thought about a video I saw where this woman talks about her miscarriage in the context of her husband, and how they grieved together. And I was thinking, I didn't even get a chance to grieve with my boyfriend. I didn't get a chance to acknowledge it was a baby. There was no conversation. It was just, you're in trouble and you're getting an abortion, basically. So there was no acknowledgement that I was a mother and I had a child. So I went through that this week, and then I had some other things happening where I had a lady at work on me, much older lady than me, a mother type figure, and she wouldn't get off my back. I mean, there was nothing I could really say because I'm at work and it's supposed to be professional, and I had to bite my tongue like constantly, and I couldn't really say anything. So she'd be like, you forgot this, or you didn't do this, and it was like the law coming down on me, right? You didn't do this. And I'm like, okay, and I was trying to avoid her. I was trying to distance myself while I'm standing in front of her, trying to get away from her, and I did the best I could. And then I went to my boss once and said, look, this is, he's like, how's things going here? And I'm like, you want the truth? I'm doing better now that she's not working with me tonight. She's off my back. She's a pain in the butt, basically, I told him. So I had some help in that way, but he's like, I'm only going to let it go so far. And then, I heard her, and I'm only going to let it go so far, and I'm going to say something if it gets a little bit out of hand with her. And I'm thinking, why don't you say something now, But anyways, so that God took me out of that place. It was his will for me to be out of there. He took me out of it. There was a time I had to go through it, and he took me out of it. So, and then there's a book I've been reading, Janis Joplin's book, about how her teen years, she was like totally screwed up. Definitely can relate to that. Somebody mentioned, oh, there goes another job. And I've had like, oh my goodness, I've had like tons of jobs, right? So I'm going through it yesterday, and my memory is coming back. I'm like, okay, you had that job, at the Cat and Fiddle when you were on Monroe Street with your husband. And then you had this job when your aunt got it for you at the Red Blazer. And so my memories are coming back. And I think it's because I have healed so much. But this is something like I've had like almost like amnesia with some of my memories in my teen years, because the abortion, the trauma of the abortion overtook like everything. So I couldn't remember things. There were like details I couldn't remember. So they're coming back. And I think we don't talk about this. I think like I am like I don't want to say guinea pig, but my experience is one of the ones that my generation, very few in my generation had maybe this happening, where, the generation now, it's like an everyday thing. So for me to have a long-term healing time, I think we're seeing things that the younger generation isn't going to see. The generation before me, I think it was rare, very rare. I think it was hidden, and these women never got to heal. I think I'm very fortunate. The generation I was in, we are starting to talk about it. We are starting to heal. So for something that hit me again, hit my spirit, so to say, hit me today, was that this was not just my abortion. And I think this is why it's taken me so long to grieve, because it wasn't your average abortion that people think about. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a mother. Um, so, I didn't get to process that. So let me choose whether I want to be a mother or not. It wasn't like that. It was, you're pregnant, you're in deep trouble. So that kind of thing. And it wasn't where it was, forced, where I didn't even know what an abortion was. It wasn't mine to own. It was done in the context of family. It was done in the context of community. So as I'm going backwards now and I'm trying to heal from that mother-daughter relationship, because it was my mother was my contact with losing my baby. We were in a car together and she sat there while I was not miscarrying, but dilating, and nobody was helping me. So if you think about that, that's like, that would be like someone miscarrying and you could stop it, but you're not going to. And then it was the context of my father, the mother-daughter relationship, the daughter-father relationship, the relationship with my boyfriend, of intimacy that was there. It was pure, it was good, it was true. That relationship, and then it was the context of his parents who chose. So it was a sense of community for me at that time that the abortion happened. So as you heal from this, we want to continue helping women, as I see this, heal from the mother-daughter relationship, the father-daughter relationship, the supposed in-laws that were supposed to be in-laws, the father-mother relationship, and this is just coming to me as I'm talking, in the community. So when you're after an abortion, when you have all these jobs and you're like, I mean, you're trying to, I guess, not fit into community, but you're going through the jobs and you're trying to heal, you're trying to, do the best you can. And plus you've got a whole nother family that you're taking care of, which thank goodness God gave me my own family. Thank goodness, because when I became a mother, I think that, a mother to a born child, I've actually had 6, counting the one I lost. That is very healing. When you are given something precious and you now have your own standards as a mother, you now are a mother and you are bonding with your children. I did bond with my son right away. I've heard some women don't. I did bond with him completely. My second son, I had a little bit of a harder time bonding with, and I think it's just because it was a lot. I think there was a block with the trauma that I didn't understand at the time, so it took a lot of emotional strength for me to bond again at first, after that postpartum time. Someone thought I had the baby blues. I didn't have the baby blues, I was just adjusting. And then I bonded with my third son pretty fast. No problems bonding with him, and my last two too. I bonded, I had home births, which helped me bond even more with my children. So, and then homeschooling helped me bond a lot with my family. So what we want to do for women, I think, where they've had an ugly community, just awful, we want them to now have a family and to be able to bond with their family and give all the time they need to their family. And that's going to help heal up that loss. And along with a church community that's loving. That's one of the reasons why I picked the first church I had gone to. I stayed there for 6 years because of the love of Christ that I saw. So when you go from a community that's not caring and ugly, and then you go into a community that's caring and loving, it's amazing the transformation that will take place, as mine did. I did a 180. And then you might get into a community where you're feeling more of the rules, you're not feeling maybe as much love. You've got to be able to get in a church that you feel a lot of love, And I think when you're going through the post-traumatic stress and you're going through these classes, again, you need a community around you along with the post-traumatic stress that is loving. And I think the pro-life movement will do that for you. I think there's a lot of loving people, but you need to be careful of some of the judgment in there that some people can put on you. So when you have people around you who are just loving you, loving you, loving you, you're going to grow and you're going to have a healthy community. Therefore, you are going to be able to give more to your workplace. You're going to be more loving and not take offense as much. So thanks for joining me, guys.